bleeding. She wasn't human, and she thought I was going to hurt her. Her eyes weren't normal. Her skin shimmered in the dark. And when I stepped closer, she begged me to stay back. She kept saying one thing, that humans always hurt what they don't understand. Outside, helicopters circled the mountains, searching, hunting, and just before she collapsed, she whispered something that froze. "My blood, they are watching your world now." And that was only the beginning. Welcome back to Cosmic Neon Aliens. Then you already belong here. Subscribe, not because I asked. From where in the world are you watching this? Far from cities, far from people, far from noise. He chose this life after years of war, loss, and disappointment. Silence was the only thing that helped him breathe again. That night, the storm came without warning. Heavy snow fell fast, covering the trees and the narrow path to the cabin. The wind howled like something alive, scratching at the walls inside. The fire burned low as the man prepared for sleep. Then he heard it, a soft sound, barely louder than the wind. A broken, shaking breath. Someone was crying. He froze, listening carefully. No animals came this close in storms like this, and no humans ever climbed this high. His cabin door was locked. He picked up a flashlight. His heart beat faster with every step. The light moved across the wooden floor. The old table, the shelves, then it stopped. Under the table, someone was hiding. A woman, thin and shaking, her arms wrapped around herself. Her clothes were torn and strange, made of a material he had never seen. Her skin looked pale, almost. They reflected the light in a soft blue shine. Fear filled her face, raw and real. She raised her hands slowly. "Please, don't hurt me," she whispered. Her voice was weak, broken, like she had learned the words recently. The man stepped back. He had faced enemies before. He had faced death. But this was different. She was not holding a weapon. She was bleeding. A thin line of dark liquid running down her arm. And she was terrified of him. Outside, a low rumble echoed through the mountains. The man turned his head toward the window. Lights moved across the clouds, slow and searching. Helicopters. The woman saw his reaction and panicked. "They are close," she said quickly. "They will take me back." "Who are they?" The man asked calmly, but she only shook her head, pressing herself deeper into the shadows. "I ran," she said. "They hurt me. They asked questions. They cut." Her voice broke, and she stopped speaking. The man lowered the flashlight and sat down slowly. He made sure to keep distance between them. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said. "Not here, not ever." She watched him closely, as if waiting for a lie. The walls of the cabin vibrated. The woman covered her ears, trembling. "They will destroy you too," she whispered. "You helped me." The man frowned. "I haven't helped anyone yet," he said. "I just opened a door." She looked at him again, confused, as if the idea was new to her. The lights outside faded for a moment. The storm grew stronger, hiding the sound of engines. The man stood and walked toward the fire. He added more wood, letting the warmth grow. The woman flinched at the sudden movement, but she did not run. She was too tired, too weak. "Stay there," the man said gently. "You're safe for now." She hesitated, then slowly crawled closer to the fire. The warmth made her gasp softly. Her body relaxed just a little. For the first time, she looked around the cabin. The books, the tools, the old photographs. This was not a prison. This was a home. She looked back at the man. "Why? Are you alone?" she asked. He did not answer right away. Outside, the helicopters returned, louder than before. The search was tightening as the woman leaned back against the table, her strength fading. She spoke one last time before losing consciousness. "My people are watching your world now." The man stared at her, at the impossible truth sitting in his cabin, at the storm outside, and at the choice he could no longer avoid. The hunt had already begun. The fire burned brighter now, filling the cabin with warmth. The storm outside continued to scream through the trees, but inside, everything felt strangely quiet. The woman lay unconscious near the table. Her breathing was shallow but steady. The man watched her carefully, keeping his distance. He had seen wounded people before, soldiers, civilians, enemies, but this was different. Her skin carried soft, glowing lines beneath the surface, like light trapped under ice. He moved slowly. He felt a slight warmth, not human warmth, something deeper, stronger, as he cleaned the wound. The dark liquid shimmered. It was not blood as he knew it, but it reacted to the cold air, thickening quickly. The woman stirred, her eyes opened. Suddenly, glowing faint blue in the firelight, she tried to move but cried out in pain. "Easy," the man said calmly. "You're safe here." She froze when she saw him. Fear rushed back into her eyes. Unsure. "No," he replied. "I stayed." She watched him closely, waiting for anger, for force, for control, but none came. Slowly, she relaxed just a little. "You are different," she said. "Most humans are not like this." The man sat on a chair near the fire. "You don't know most humans," he said. "Just the worst ones." She looked down at her hands. The glowing lines faded as she calmed. "They captured me," she said. "They said I was important." She explained in simple words, searching for the right ones. Her people were travelers, observers. They studied worlds before making contact. Earth was marked as dangerous. "I was sent to watch," she said. "Not to fight, not to change anything." Her ship was hidden deep under the mountains. But humans found it. They followed the energy signals. They took her underground. The man clenched his jaw. He knew that place she described. Black rooms, bright lights, no questions answered. "They hurt me to learn," she continued. "They feared what they could not control." Silence filled the cabin. The fire cracked softly. Outside, a distant helicopter passed again. "You escaped," the man said. She nodded slowly. "Your storm helped me." She said, "Your world is loud, but nature still hides things." She looked at him again. Curious now, not just afraid. "Why do you live alone?" she asked. He stared into the fire. "Because humans hurt each other too," he said. "And sometimes leaving is the only way to survive." She thought about his words carefully. On her world, survival did not mean isolation. But here it did. "You treated my wound," she said. "You could have traded me for safety." The man shook his head. "I don't sell people," he replied. That answer stayed with her. On her world, choices were calculated. On Earth, choices were emotional, dangerous, unpredictable. Another. "They will not stop," she said quietly. "They believe they own what they find." The man stood and walked to the window. Lights moved between the trees. Slow, patient, hunting. "Then we make sure they don't find you," he said. She looked up sharply. "You would risk yourself," she asked, "for someone not human?" He met her glowing eyes. "I already am risking myself," he said, "by staying human." For the first time she smiled. Just slightly, unsure but real. Outside, the storm began to weaken. And with it, the cover that hid them. The woman pulled her knees close. "My people will return for me," she said. "When they see what your kind does." The man felt a cold weight in his chest. He understood then. This was not just about one life. Earth was being judged, and the test had already begun. Morning came slowly over the mountains. Gray light pushed through heavy clouds. The storm was fading, and that made everything worse. The woman stood near the window, watching carefully. Her glowing eyes followed movement far below the trees. "They are still here," she said quietly. The man tightened his jacket and listened. The sound of engines drifted upward. Faint but steady, drones this time, not helicopters. "They learned," she said. "When humans fail once, they return." Smarter, the man nodded. He had seen that pattern in war. Failure never stopped humans. It only sharpened them. He moved quickly, opening a hidden floor panel near the fireplace. Old tunnels ran beneath the cabin, left by miners decades ago. Few people remembered they existed. "Stay close," he told her. "Do not make sound." She hesitated, fear flashing across her face. Underground rooms reminded her of the place she escaped, but she trusted him now, at least a little. They moved into the tunnel just as a low hum passed overhead. A drone hovered directly above the cabin, scanning, listening, waiting. The man covered the entrance carefully, then shut off the lights. Darkness swallowed them. In the silence, she whispered, "Your species should be simple. But you hide like predators." He almost smiled. "We learned from nature," he said. "Survival makes teachers out of fear." Above them, boots hit the wooden floor. Voices spoke in calm, controlled tones. Soldiers. Trained and patient, the woman pressed herself against the tunnel wall. Her skin dimmed. Adapting to the darkness. "They will sense me," she said. "They won't," the man replied. He activated a small device, old but reliable. It flooded the cabin with false heat signatures. On the surface, the soldiers argued quietly. The drone circled once more, then moved on. Minutes passed like hours. Every sound felt sharp enough to cut. When it was finally quiet again, they moved. Deeper into the tunnel system, cold air rushed past them, carrying old earth and stone. She watched him as they walked. Humans, she had learned, should panic under pressure. But he moved with focus and control. "Your people think we are weak," she said. "Too emotional." He stopped and looked at her. "Emotion is why we survive," he replied. "It makes us do stupid things for the right reasons." She considered that carefully. On her world, logic ruled every decision. Emotion was studied, not trusted. They reached a small chamber carved into the rock. The man lit a lantern, low and soft. "This is as far as we go," he said. She sat down slowly, breathing hard. Her injury still hurt. But she was stronger now. Above them, another sound rolled across the mountains. Not human, not mechanical. She froze, eyes widening. "That is not yours," she whispered. The man felt his stomach tighten. A deep vibration passed through the ground. "Powerful, controlled, watching, your people," he said. She nodded slowly. "They are observing," she said. "Me. And you." For the first time, fear touched her voice for a different reason. "If they decide humans are a threat," she continued, "they will not attack first. What will they do?" The man asked. "They will wait," she said, "and they will let humans destroy themselves." Silence filled the chamber, heavy and final. The man understood the danger clearly now. The hunt was no longer about capturing her. Them, alien eyes watched, and between those forces, one human decision was quietly shaping the fate of the world. The man and the alien woman stayed hidden until night returned to the mountains. Darkness was their only shield now. Above them, the deep vibration faded. But the feeling of being watched did not. When they finally returned to the cabin, everything looked untouched. The soldiers had searched carefully, too carefully. Drawers were opened, tools moved. Footprints left behind. "They will return," the woman said softly. "They always do," the man nodded. Humans never accepted mystery without answers, especially when power was involved. He began to clean the cabin, erasing signs of her presence, burning old cloth, hiding traces of energy. Simple actions, but done with purpose. The woman watched him closely. On her world, no one would risk this much for a stranger, especially not for someone considered dangerous. "Why do you keep helping me?" she finally asked. "You gain nothing." The man paused, holding an old photograph in his hand. It showed him years ago, standing with people who were now gone. "Because someone once helped me," he said quietly, "and it saved my life." She studied the image. Human memory fascinated her. So fragile, yet so powerful. Before she could speak again, a knock echoed through the cabin. Slow, controlled, confident. Both of them froze. The woman's skin dimmed instantly, blending with the shadows. "Open the door." A voice called from outside, calm and official. "We know someone else is here." The man took a slow breath and walked to the door. When he opened it, two soldiers stood there, weapons lowered but ready. Behind them, Lights moved through the trees again. "We're doing a final check," one soldier said. "Routine. There's no one here," the man replied evenly. "You've already searched." The soldier's eyes moved past him, scanning the cabin. "People don't live this far out unless they're hiding," he said. The man met his stare. "Some of us just want peace." For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the soldier nodded slightly. "We'll be back," he said. "Stay available." As they left, the woman let out a shaky breath. "They believed you," she said, amazed. "They wanted to," the man replied. "Truth isn't always what humans look for." She stepped into the firelight. "No longer hiding. You risked prison," she said. "They would punish you," he shrugged. "Some lines matter more than laws." That answer changed something in her. On her world, rules were absolute. Here, humans broke them for reasons. She was only beginning to understand. She sat down slowly, holding her injured arm. "My people will judge your kind soon," she said. "They will see violence, fear, and greed. They will also see this," the man replied. "Choice." She looked up at him. "Choice is dangerous," she said. "So is survival." He answered. Outside, the night sky cleared for the first time in days. Stars appeared, sharp and bright. The woman stared at them, recognizing patterns only she understood. "They are positioning," she whispered. "Ships beyond sight." The man felt the weight of her words settle deep inside him. "This is bigger than you and me," he said. She nodded. "You are." "Right." She stood and faced him fully now, no fear in her eyes. "When my people decide," she said, "they will not listen to governments." "Who will they listen to?" he asked. She placed a hand over her chest. "They will listen to what I saw," she said, "and what you chose to do." Silence filled the cabin again. But this time, it was not empty. For the first time, she saw humanity not as a threat, but as something far more dangerous and hopeful. A species willing to stand alone, against its own kind, to protect what it believed was right, and far above the mountains. Eyes from another world watched closely. Because the fate of Earth was no longer decided by weapons, but by one human choice. Asterisk, the first sign appeared just before dawn. A strange silence spread across the mountains. No birds, no wind, no distant engines. Even the air felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. The alien woman stood outside the cabin, looking up at the sky. Her eyes reflected shapes the man could not see. "They have arrived," she said quietly. High above the clouds, massive objects held position, invisible to most human eyes, but powerful enough to bend light and gravity. Within hours the world felt it. Satellites failed, signals dropped. Governments went silent, then loud, then silent again. Screens across the planet filled with confusion. Markets froze, flights stopped, cities panicked. Humans reacted the only way they knew how, with fear, anger, and noise. The man watched the news on an old radio feed. Voices argued, blamed, threatened. Weapons were mentioned before understanding. As always, the alien woman listened carefully. This was the test she feared, not invasion, observation. "My people do not conquer first," she said. "They watch how a world reacts under pressure." On the screen, riots broke out in some cities, but in others, strangers helped each other. Old men were carried through crowds, children were shielded. From panic, the woman noticed everything. Humans fighting, humans saving. "They see both sides," she whispered, "and they will judge which one wins." Suddenly, a new signal cut through every channel on Earth. Not a voice, not words, but a feeling, heavy, calm, impossible to ignore. People across the planet stopped moving, as if the world itself was being held still. "They are speaking now," the woman said. "To everyone." In her mind, images formed. Cities burning, oceans rising. Worlds left empty. The message was simple. Humanity was dangerous, but also valuable. The man felt a pressure behind his eyes. "Not pain, understanding. They want proof," he said. "Proof we deserve to survive." The woman nodded slowly. "They are waiting to see which humans matter, Hours passed like days, human leaders argued. Weapons were prepared, but nothing happened. Then something unexpected spread across the world. Not orders, not commands, stories. People shared videos of strangers helping each other, of soldiers lowering weapons, of doctors working without rest. Fear was still there, but so was defiance, not against the aliens, against the idea that humanity was only its worst moments. The alien woman watched it all with growing confusion. Her people believed intelligence meant control, but humans showed strength through chaos. They do not wait for permission to be kind. She said softly, above the earth. The alien council observed, cold, logical, patient. They measured destruction, but also sacrifice in the mountains. The man stepped outside and looked at the sky. If they want a symbol, he said, then let it be me. The woman turned sharply. You cannot speak to them, she said. They will dissect your thoughts. I've survived worse, he replied. And this world deserves someone to stand for it. She saw then what made humans different. They did not wait to be chosen. They chose themselves. The sky above the mountains shimmered. Light bent, air vibrated. A presence descended, silent and overwhelming. The test was no longer distant. It was here, and the next choice would decide whether Earth was protected or erased. As the light grew brighter, the alien woman whispered, "They are listening now," and the fate of humanity balanced on what one human would say next. The light in the sky did not burn. It did not blind. It surrounded the mountain like a silent ocean. Heavy, calm, impossible to escape. The man stood still outside the cabin, snow crunching under his boots. The alien woman remained a few steps behind him, fear and hope fighting inside her chest. The presence pressed into his mind, not words, not sound, but pressure, memory, judgment. Images flooded him. Human history, wars, fires, broken cities. Then other moments. Hands pulling strangers from ruins. People sharing food in darkness. Mothers shielding children with their bodies. The alien council was not asking questions. They were measuring him, every fear, every regret, every choice he had ever made. He did not resist. He opened his thoughts fully. If humanity was to be judged, then it would be judged honestly. The alien woman felt it too. The connection spreading through her mind. Her people were listening through her, seeing what she saw, feeling what she felt. The man stepped forward. "I know what you see," he said. Violence, greed, failure, the pressure increased, as if the stars themselves leaned closer. "But that's not all we are," he continued. "We fall, and we break, and we hurt each other. Then we get up." He remembered the faces in his old photograph. People who had stood beside him when it mattered. People who never made history books, but saved lives anyway. "We are not perfect," he said. "We are stubborn. We are emotional. And yes, we are dangerous." The alien presence reacted. Danger was the word they feared most. "But we are dangerous because we care," he added. "Because we choose each other even when it costs us everything." The alien woman felt tears form in her eyes. Her people had never spoken like this. They solved problems. They removed threats. Humans stood inside their flaws and still reached outward. The council projected images back at him. Cities in chaos, weapons pointed at the sky, fear spreading like fire. "This is us at our worst," the man said calmly. "You're right." Then new images appeared. A man shielding a stranger during a riot. A doctor refusing to leave a collapsing hospital. A soldier lowering his weapon. "And this is us at our best," he said. "We don't choose one. We live as both." The silence that followed felt endless. The alien woman realized something terrifying. Her people were struggling to calculate this. Humans did not fit clean models. They could not be simplified. Why protect them? The council pressed. Why protect a species that may destroy itself? The man took a deep breath. "Because we haven't finished choosing who we are," he said. And no one deserves to be erased before they get the chance. The alien woman stepped forward now. Her fear gone, replaced by certainty. I was taught humans were unstable, she said. They hurt what they do not understand. That is true. She looked at the man beside her. But they also protect what they barely know. They sacrifice without logic. And they do it again and again. Her words carried weight, not emotion, evidence. The council withdrew slightly, the pressure easing for the first time. For them, this was the most dangerous discovery of all, a species that could not be predicted, controlled, or fully judged by past behavior. High above Earth, the council began to argue among themselves, quietly, carefully. The man felt the connection fading. But before it disappeared, one final thought echoed through him, not a threat. Not a promise, a question. Are humans worth the risk? He looked at the alien woman, then at the world below the mountains. Still chaotic, still loud, still alive. Yes, he answered without hesitation. The light in the sky pulsed once, and the council prepared its final decision. The light above the mountains faded slowly, not in anger, not in fear, but in thought. Across the world, people felt it at the same time. The heavy pressure lifted. The sky returned to normal. Signals came back. Satellites woke up. The alien council had made its decision. The man stood quietly in the snow, waiting. The alien woman watched the sky, her body tense. This was the moment her people decided the fate of an entire species. Then a final presence returned, softer than before. No weight. No judgment, only clarity. Her eyes widened as the message reached her mind. She smiled, a real smile, free and unafraid. They will not destroy Earth, she said softly. They will not control it either. The man let out a breath he did not realize he was holding. What happens now? He asked. They have marked your world as protected, she said. Too unpredictable to conquer, too dangerous to erase. Across the planet, alien ships revealed themselves for the first time, not in attack positions, but in still formation. A warning and a promise at the same time. Human weapons powered down, orders were forgotten. For once, the world simply watched. The alien council sent one final declaration. Not to governments, not to armies, but to humanity itself. Humans were flawed. Humans were violent. Humans were emotional. And that was exactly why they would survive. The council withdrew from Earth's orbit. One by one, the ships vanished into silent light, leaving behind a planet that had been spared. Not because it was peaceful, but because it was human. The alien woman turned to the man. My people offered me a choice, she said. I can return with them, or I can stay. He looked at her surprised. You would choose this world, he asked. She nodded. This world needs watching, she said. And learning. She looked around the mountains, the cabin, the fire inside. This place taught me something my people never understood. What is that? He asked. That survival is not about perfection, she replied. It is about refusing to give up on each other. In the days that followed, the world changed, not overnight, not magically, but slowly. People argued less about invasion and more about responsibility. If Earth was being watched, then every choice mattered. The man returned to his quiet life. But he was no longer alone. The alien woman learned human routines. Coffee, books, music, silence. She listened to stories of human history. Not just wars, but courage, not just failure, but persistence. Sometimes at night, she looked at the stars, knowing her people were still out there, still watching, still unsure what humans would become, and that was the point. Humans were not finished. They were never finished. Far beyond Earth, the Alien Council recorded their final note, a warning for all advanced civilizations. Do not underestimate humans. Do not try to control them. Do not try to save them from themselves, because when humans choose to stand, they do not stand as one mind. They stand as millions of imperfect hearts, and that makes them unstoppable. Back in the mountains, the fire burned low. The man looked at the world through the window, still broken, still dangerous, still alive. Humanity had not been declared innocent. It had been declared worthy, and for the first time, the universe understood what humans already knew. Humanity was never harmless. Humanity was the risk worth taking.